Hi there. My name is Jack Quinn, and this is a business that I was thinking about. Um, Earlier this year, I was reading this book that my econ teacher recommended about behavioral economics, and there was a study in there about what motivates people to save energy. And these researchers went out and asked people what they cared about when they were thinking about saving energy. And people said money, saving the environment, but they said they didn't care about social pressure. But when researchers used flyers that appealed to each of these motives that the households listed as being important to them, the only one that actually worked in getting them to save money was giving them flyers that showed how much power they were using in comparison to their neighbors. That was the only thing that got them to reduce it, and it made a drastic difference. Which got me thinking, when I'm around in the dorm, I see lights left on everywhere. I know I leave my lights on. I have no incentive not to. Feels like everyone else is doing it. Makes no difference if I do. I know I keep my temperature, my thermostat at a comfortable temperature because it seems like, what's the difference? Nobody's keeping track, and it's kind of a tragedy of the commons kind of thing. And so this had me thinking about, what if you implemented this on like a room by room basis? If you had some sort of like web connected sub-metering that all fed to an app where you could have a leaderboard and say, I'm competing against the guys across the hall, and together we're competing against the dorm next door. Competing against the building next door. And doing some more research in this, I actually found a lot of really interesting data. First of all, that 30% of all energy usage in dorms is completely wasted, and is when people are not in the building or in the room. There's actually been a lot of research about this. And I also read that other universities, like the University of Colorado, have done this kind of thing on a much smaller scale, bigger in a way, but smaller, where like one academic building will compete against another. And even on that scale, where people aren't like super competitive about like, oh, my academic building needs to make sure I turn off the lights, they saved hundreds of thousands of dollars that way. So my idea was, if something as simple as that can save a university hundreds of thousands of dollars, obviously it's hard to build something like that from the ground up at your own university. What if there's a company that could come in and offer this to universities for a price that's less than all the money they would save in power bills? Because if you can even save 10% of that 30% that's wasted, that's a lot of money when you're talking about the millions and millions of dollars that universities spend on power every year. So that was my idea. Have something that's standardized that you could come and offer, something that's standardized and proven that you could come and offer universities to help them reduce their power costs through a really cool trick in social dynamics. Because I think it could really go a long way, both from that study and just both from what I know about people. I know if I was competing with the guy against the hall, I would turn off my lights instead of leaving them on, like I often do, as I sheepishly admit. And I got interested in this, one, because I was reading that book. I think economics and like why people behave a certain way is super interesting. And then I also really like the environment, care about protecting the environment. So I think it'd be really cool to start a business in that field that's contributing to reducing energy usage. So yeah, they kind of serendipitously combined my two passions into this idea, two of my passions into this idea. And yeah, so something that would definitely have to be proven on a smaller scale of actually being effective. But I think it's something that could be good. So that's the business idea that I've been thinking about. Thank you very much.